Let me tell you something about the way you think. Your mindset is the foundation for everything you achieve in life. If you want to succeed, the very first thing you need to do is develop a growth mindset. Now, a growth mindset is not just some abstract idea, it's a way of living, a way of thinking that says, I can grow, I can improve, and I can become better than I am today. This mindset is crucial because it changes the way you approach challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. Most people walk through life with a fixed mindset, believing that their abilities and talents are set in stone. They think, I'm either good at this or I'm not, and this belief keeps them from pushing themselves to their true potential. But here's the truth, what you are today is not what you have to be tomorrow. Your skills, your intelligence, and your character can all improve over time if you're willing to put in the effort and stay dedicated to growth. The first step towards success is changing the way you think about yourself and your capabilities. You see, those who embrace a growth mindset understand that setbacks are not the end of the road, but an opportunity to learn and improve. Every failure, every mistake, every challenge is simply part of the process. It's a stepping stone towards success. Let me put it this way, you don't fail when you fall down. You fail when you refuse to get back up, when you stop trying. You see, success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning from it. It's about recognizing that every great achievement was built on the back of small, often painful lessons. Let me tell you a little story to illustrate this. When I first started in sales, I wasn't the best. I didn't have all the answers, and I didn't know every trick in the book. But I was hungry, and I had a growth mindset. I didn't look at every rejection as a personal failure. I looked at it as a lesson. Every no brought me closer to a yes. Every challenge showed me where I could improve. As I kept pushing, learning, and growing, I started to see progress. That progress led to success. And that success wasn't just about sales, it was about growth. It was about becoming the kind of person who could inspire others and lead them toward their own success. Here's the key: when you believe in your ability to grow, you take action. You stop worrying about the things you don't know and start focusing on learning the things you need to know. You stop being afraid of failure because you realize that it's a necessary part of the journey. Instead of feeling defeated when you face obstacles, you get excited because you know that you're learning and improving with every challenge you face. And this mindset doesn't just apply to your career. It applies to your relationships, your health, your personal growth, and every area of your life. If you believe that you can grow in every area, you'll start to see improvement in every area. Life is not about reaching a destination. It's about constantly moving forward, getting better, and becoming the best version of yourself. The growth mindset requires you to let go of excuses. You can't blame your past or your circumstances for where you are today. What you do today will determine where you are tomorrow. As I always say, you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. And that starts by helping yourself. Help yourself by investing in your own growth. Help yourself by choosing to learn, to develop, and to improve. It's not easy, but it's worth it. So my friends, start today. Choose to adopt a growth mindset. Choose to believe that you can get better, that you can improve, and that you can achieve the things you've always dreamed of. When you do that, you're not just setting yourself up for success, you're setting yourself up for a life of growth, fulfillment, and constant achievement. So let me leave you with this: success is not a destination, it's a journey of continual growth. Keep growing and keep moving forward. Let's talk about something that I believe is essential to your success: the power of setting clear, achievable goals. Now, I know that many people hear the word goal and immediately think of something big and overwhelming. But let me tell you something: a goal doesn't have to be a distant, unreachable dream. It can be a simple, clear, and actionable plan that gives you a direction, focus, and the motivation to move forward. I've always said, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time, and that's the reality for so many people. They live their lives without a clear sense of purpose or direction, and then they wonder why they're not getting anywhere. You can't expect to reach the top if you don't know where the top is. The key to success is not just working hard, it's working towards something specific. You have to know where you want to go or you'll never get there. You see, when you set a clear goal, you give yourself a target. You have something concrete to aim for. This clarity of purpose helps you make decisions, prioritize your time, and stay focused on what truly matters. When you don't have a goal, everything becomes a distraction. But when you have a goal, distractions become easier to avoid because you know what you're working toward. Let me tell you a bit about my own journey. When I first started in sales, I wasn't successful right away. I didn't just walk into the room and immediately start closing deals. But what I did have was a clear goal. I wanted to be the best in my field, to serve my clients in the best possible way, and to become a person of influence and inspiration. I wrote down my goals. I broke them down into manageable steps. And every single day I focused on the small things that would help me get closer to those goals. It wasn't about one big leap, it was about consistent progress. With time, that consistency paid off and my goals became a reality. But here's the important part: your goals have to be achievable. They need to be realistic and broken down into smaller, manageable pieces. A big goal like becoming a millionaire or writing a best-selling book might seem intimidating at first. But when you break that goal into smaller chunks, it becomes more manageable. Instead of focusing on the entire mountain, you focus on the next step, and that makes all the difference. Every small achievement is a victory that builds momentum toward the bigger picture. Now, I've also learned that goals should be specific. Vague goals lead to vague results. You can't just say, I want to be successful. What does success look like to you? What does it feel like? How do you measure it? A goal like, I want to increase my sales by 25% this year is much more effective than simply saying, I want to be better at sales. Specificity helps you stay focused and gives you a concrete target to hit. Another important thing to remember is that goals should have a time frame. Without a deadline, your goal doesn't have the same sense of urgency. It becomes something you can keep putting off. But when you set a time frame for achieving your goal, you create a sense of accountability. You start to take action today because you know that time is ticking. The sooner you start working toward your goal, the sooner you'll reach it. One of the most powerful aspects of setting clear goals is the way it boosts your motivation. When you set a goal and start to see progress, it sparks something within you, a sense of accomplishment, a desire to keep moving forward. It propels you into action. You start to get excited about your future, and that excitement drives you to do the work that's required. But here's the thing: setting goals isn't just about checking off boxes on a to-do list. It's about creating a vision for your life. It's about deciding who you want to become and what you want to achieve. And when you set those goals with passion, determination, and a commitment to never quit, you start to transform not just your circumstances, but yourself. So let me encourage you today: get clear about what you want. Write it down, break it down into manageable steps, create a timeline, and then go after it with everything you've got. The goals you set today will shape the life you live tomorrow. As I always say, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great, so start today. Set your goals, take action, and never stop pursuing the life you deserve. You've got what it takes. Let me tell you something about the way you talk to yourself, because how you talk to yourself has a direct impact on how you live your life. Now, I'm not talking about the voice you hear from others. I'm talking about the voice inside your own head. The words you speak to yourself, the thoughts you entertain, the messages you tell yourself every single day, those things are shaping your future. You see, positive self-talk is one of the most powerful tools for success that you'll ever have at your disposal. Think about this: what you say to yourself when you face challenges, when things get tough, what you believe about your abilities, that's what determines whether you rise or fall. So often, people are their own worst critics. They look in the mirror and say, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, or I don't have what it takes, and I want you to hear me clearly on this. If you want to succeed, you've got to stop saying things like that to yourself. In fact, I'll tell you this: you are what you think you are. Your mindset and your self-talk shape your reality. If you walk around thinking you're not capable, not worthy, or not talented enough, guess what? You're going to live up to those beliefs. But if you tell yourself, I am capable, I am worthy, I have what it takes, then you'll start believing it, and more importantly, you'll start acting like it. The things you tell yourself become the blueprint for how you approach life, how you handle adversity, and how you rise to the challenges ahead of you. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to ignore your weaknesses or pretend that everything is perfect. No, it's about being real with yourself while also being kind and encouraging. You can acknowledge the areas where you need to improve, but at the same time, you should remind yourself of the strengths and abilities that you have. The truth is, every one of us has something special inside us, something that can help us achieve great things. But that potential won't come to life if you're constantly putting yourself down or doubting your abilities. You've got to start talking to yourself the way a coach would talk to a champion, with belief, encouragement, and positivity. I'll tell you something I've learned over the years: the way you talk to yourself shapes your behavior. When you feed your mind with positive thoughts, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You begin to take actions that align with your goals. You see, when I first started out in my career, I didn't have all the answers. I faced many rejections, many failures, and many doubts. But I refused to let negative self-talk hold me back. I refused to believe that I wasn't capable of achieving great things. Every time I faced a setback, I told myself, this is just another step toward success. I will learn from this and do better next time. That positive self-talk kept me moving forward, even when the road seemed tough. But here's the thing: positive self-talk isn't something that just happens overnight. It's a habit that you need to develop. And like any habit, it takes time and practice. You've got to catch yourself when those negative thoughts come in and replace them with positive, empowering thoughts. You've got to speak to yourself like you would speak to someone you love and care about. If you wouldn't say something to a friend, don't say it to yourself. Now, I'm not saying everything will be easy. Life isn't all sunshine and rainbows. You'll face challenges, you'll encounter setbacks, and yes, you'll stumble along the way. But how you talk to yourself when those challenges arise is what will make all the difference. Instead of saying, I can't, tell yourself, I will figure this out. I can do this. I am capable of more than I realize. Over time, you'll start to believe it. And when you believe it, you'll act on it. So, my friend, I want to challenge you today. Pay attention to the words you say to yourself. Replace self-doubt with self-belief. Replace negativity with positivity. Feed your mind with thoughts of success, strength, and possibility. When you do this, not only will you start to see changes in your life, but you'll begin to unlock a power within you that you didn't even know existed. And remember this: the words you speak to yourself are the first steps in creating the life you want. Speak to yourself with encouragement, with kindness, and with belief. You've got greatness inside of you. All you've got to do is believe it, and the rest will follow. So start today and make your self-talk your greatest ally on your journey to success. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Failure is not the end. In fact, failure is often one of the best things that can happen to you. Now, I know what you're thinking: how could failure be a good thing? Well, here's the thing: failure is simply a lesson in disguise. It's the opportunity to grow, to improve, and to become stronger. If you're going to be successful in life, you need to develop resilience, the ability to get back up, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. You've got to learn how to turn your setbacks into comebacks. Let's get one thing straight right off the bat: you are going to fail. And when I say that, I don't say it with any negativity or pessimism. I say it because it's part of the process. Nobody, and I mean nobody, achieves success without facing failure along the way. In fact, I've learned that some of my greatest failures have been my greatest teachers. Every failure I've encountered has helped me to grow, learn, and get better. I remember when I first started in sales, it was tough. I faced rejection after rejection. There were times when I felt like giving up, like I wasn't cut out for it. But here's what I learned: failure wasn't a sign that I wasn't good enough. It was just a sign that I hadn't figured out the right way to do it yet. It was an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to try again with more wisdom and more experience. And guess what? As I kept pushing forward, those failures began to shrink and success started to grow. You see, resilience is the key. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about how you handle it. It's about getting back on your feet after every knockdown, learning from the experience, and coming back even stronger. Successful people don't let failure defeat them. They let failure fuel them. They take what they've learned from their mistakes and use it to make better decisions, to try new approaches, and to keep pushing forward until they reach their goals. Here's something I want you to remember: failure is temporary, but quitting is permanent. When you quit, that's the end of the road. But when you keep going, when you keep learning and improving, that's when the magic happens. Failure isn't something to be afraid of, it's something to embrace. Every time you face failure, you have the chance to learn, grow, and get better. In fact, the more you fail, the closer you are to success. Think about it. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed thousands of times before he finally succeeded. But what did he say about his failures? He didn't see them as defeats. He saw them as steps in the right direction. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset you need. Failure is not a reflection of who you are as a person. It's a part of the process. It's a necessary step on the road to success. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and look for failure, but what I am saying is that when failure comes in, don't let it stop you. Use it, learn from it, and most importantly, keep going. You see, success is not about avoiding failure, it's about being able to rise each time you fall. The more resilient you become, the less failure will affect you. You'll start to see failure not as a setback, but as a stepping stone. You'll start to realize that failure is just part of the journey to success. You will develop a mindset that says, "I'm not afraid to fail, I'm not afraid to fall down, because I know that every time I do, I'm learning something new, and I'm getting one step closer to my goal." So my friend, I want you to adopt this mindset today. When you face failure, don't let it knock you down. Use it as fuel. Learn from it and keep going. The only way you truly fail is when you stop trying. Every time you get back up, you get closer to your goal. And eventually those failures will fade into the background, and all that will be left is your success. Keep going, keep learning, and most importantly, keep rising after every fall. Your success is just on the other side of your resilience.
Let me tell you something about the people you surround yourself with. Now, I'm not talking about the people who simply pass through your life, the ones you see occasionally or in passing. I'm talking about the people you spend the most time with, the ones who influence you, shape your mindset, and impact your decisions. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you want to achieve success, then it's absolutely crucial to choose the right people to be around. The right circle can elevate you, while the wrong one can hold you back. I want you to think about the people who are closest to you. Are they encouraging you to grow? Are they lifting you up? Are they challenging you to be the best version of yourself? Or are they dragging you down, limiting your potential, and feeding you negativity? The people you spend time with have a profound influence on your beliefs, your attitude, and your actions. If you surround yourself with people who don't believe in growth, who don't believe in success, then your own potential is stifled. Let me share something from my own life. Early in my career, I was determined to succeed, but I quickly realized that I had to make some tough decisions about the people I spent my time with. You see, I had some friends who were well-meaning, but they weren't pushing me to be better. They were stuck in their own ways, not really striving for anything beyond the day-to-day. And I came to a point where I had to make a choice. Do I stay where I am, or do I surround myself with people who are going to push me toward my goals? I chose the latter. I made a conscious effort to surround myself with people who were positive, who had vision, who were hard-working, and who believed in the value of personal growth. I found mentors who had already achieved the things I wanted to achieve. I found people who would challenge me, who would give me tough advice, and who wouldn't let me settle for mediocrity. And let me tell you, that decision was one of the best choices I ever made. The people you surround yourself with influence not only your mindset, but also your behavior. I want you to think about it for a moment. If you're constantly around people who are negative, who focus on problems instead of solutions, who complain rather than take action, guess what happens to you? You start to adopt that same mindset. You start to think that your problems are too big to overcome, that success is too far out of reach. But when you surround yourself with people who are focused on growth, who take responsibility for their lives, who encourage and support each other, then something incredible happens. You start to think like them. You start to act like them. And before you know it, you start to achieve like them. The right people in your life will make you believe that anything is possible. They'll encourage you when you feel like giving up. They'll remind you of your potential when you forget. They'll celebrate your wins and they'll help you bounce back from your losses. And just as importantly, they'll hold you accountable. They won't let you take shortcuts. They'll challenge you to reach higher, to dig deeper and to become more than you ever thought you could be. And that's what you need if you're going to be successful. Now, I'm not saying that you should just cut people out of your life. That's not the point. What I'm saying is that you need to be intentional about who you allow to influence you. You need to be mindful of the energy and the mindset of the people you allow into your inner circle. You need to be around people who inspire you, who challenge you, and who support your vision. So, what does this mean for you? It means you've got to start making decisions about the people you spend time with. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to grow, who inspire you to reach higher, and who are willing to help you get to where you want to go. When you do that, you're setting yourself up for success. And here's something else to remember. You are not just a product of the people around you. You are also an influence on others. So be the kind of person who uplifts, who encourages, and who challenges others to become their best selves. The more you give that energy, the more you'll receive it. And when you surround yourself with the right people, you'll find that your journey to success becomes not just achievable, but inevitable. So, my friend, choose your circle wisely. Be around people who inspire you to grow and who won't let you settle for less than your best. Because success is not just about what you do, it's also about who you become. And the people you surround yourself with play a big part in that transformation. Now, I want to talk about taking action. You see, there's a huge difference between knowing what to do and actually doing it. You can have all the knowledge in the world, you can have the best ideas, and you can have the best intentions, but without action, nothing changes. It's like owning a beautiful car but never driving it. You can sit there and admire the car all day, but if you don't put the key in the ignition and drive, you're going nowhere. Too many people talk about what they want to achieve. They talk about their dreams, their goals, their aspirations, but they don't do the work. And here's the reality. Dreams don't work unless you do. You can plan, you can strategize, and you can visualize, but if you don't take that first step, you're not going to get anywhere. I've often said, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. It's that simple. Taking action is the key that unlocks the door to success. Now, I understand that taking action can be scary. I get it. We all have doubts. We all have fears. We all wonder if we're making the right choice. But let me tell you something. Fear is a natural part of the process. If you're not afraid at least a little bit, then you're not aiming high enough. Every successful person, including myself, has faced fear. But what sets successful people apart is their ability to act despite the fear. They don't let fear paralyze them, they let it push them forward. You've got to be willing to take that leap, even when the future feels uncertain. When I started my career, I didn't know everything. I didn't have all the answers, but I knew one thing. If I didn't take action, I wouldn't get anywhere. So I started. I didn't wait for the perfect moment. I didn't wait until I felt ready. I took action because I knew that each step I took, no matter how small, was moving me closer to my goal. You see, the journey to success is not a straight line. It's a series of steps, some big, some small, some bumpy, but each step is important. And here's another truth. Action builds momentum. The hardest part is always the first step. Once you get going, once you start moving, things start to fall into place. You learn as you go. You make mistakes and you learn from them. You adjust your course and you keep going. But the key is that you keep moving forward. I've always said, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Once you take that first step, the next one becomes easier, and the one after that becomes easier still. Now, let's talk about consistency. Taking action once is great, but the real magic happens when you take consistent action. Too many people start something and then stop when they don't see instant results. They think success should come overnight, but that's not how it works. Success is a process. It takes time, but if you keep showing up, if you keep taking action day after day, the results will come. You'll build habits, you'll build confidence, and you'll build the skills you need to reach your goals. You see, action is not just about big moves or bold gestures. It's about the small, everyday decisions that add up over time. It's about showing up, doing the work, and staying committed even when it feels like progress is slow. Every action you take gets you closer to your goal. Every step you take is a victory in itself. So, my friend, if you want to be successful, you've got to take action. You've got to stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for everything to be just right and just start. Start small, start imperfectly, just start. Because the road to success is built one step at a time, and every step you take brings you closer to the life you've dreamed of. Remember, the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't is the willingness to take action. Don't just talk about it. Don't just think about it. Do it. Keep moving forward. Keep taking those steps. And you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making the most of the moment you have right now. So take action today. Your future self will thank you for it.